Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we have a few new Kizer knives, and we have doubles of each one. So let's check these out. I think we have 4 new versions. Now, this is the Mini October. Here's the regular Kizer October, and it came in 20 CV with a red micarta. Some people like to call it the bacon micarta. It has a nice texture to it, and I do have a full review on this. If you want to see the full review, you can click this little card up here in the corner and you can watch the full review. Or you can rewind back to this part and click the card. But awesome knife. And then this is the mini version with a bunch of differences. Now, I'm also going to link everything I can down in the description for you guys. So if you guys want to check any of these out, I will link everything I possibly can down in the description, including discount codes, etc. So this one has 154 cm blade steel. This one's in micarta. Now this one's in G10, but both of them have this frag. Has a really nice textured feel, very grippy. Now it does not have the hole deployment, but it has great access to the lock bar. Very smooth on the drop. These are fresh out of the box, so they're still breaking in. This is going to get very smooth. The flipper tab is easy to get to, but it is nice and minimal. Great break to the detent. So once you move the flipper tab, so once you break from where it's at and you pull down, this thing snaps open. Deep carry clip with flat screws, but it's not inset, but it is reversible. Now this one has T8 hardware all the way around. Love to see that. Now this one I have a little tiny issue with, but maybe I'll fix it on camera and show you guys how to fix it. It's a simple fix, and I'm not 100% that this is the issue, but I'm pretty sure. I have a burr around my detent hole. So when I drop it, you can see it stops right there. Now I can click it in, but it's just trying to get the detent into the hole. It's very minimal, and I could literally not do anything and just open and close it, and it'll go away. But if I want to rush it, yes. And I can feel it going away as I open and close it. But super snappy, very smooth. The jimping on the spine is nice and grippy, and I can still get a full 4-finger grip on it. If I'm back here, no, it's a 3-finger knife, but using the choil, yes, you can. Now, another thing, even though it does not have the hole deployment, and I'm not saying you can do this, but I can easily reverse flick, especially this one with the coated stonewashed blade. I can also do it from the hole placement, or where a hole would be, but there's no hole there. I do wish they would have put a hole like on this one, but not a big deal. Like I said, I can still easily do it. Now the stonewashed one I cannot do. So only the coated version is the easy one. And that's because it's coated and it has a little bit of a tacky feel with the stonewash. This one has a stonewash, but it doesn't have the coating. Let's get to the next one. Now this next one is one I was really excited about. This is the Kizer Roach, and here is, or the Kizer Roach Mini. Here's the original one. Now this did come in a titanium frame lock version. This is the micarta liner lock version, but as you can see, it is a full size knife, nice large knife. And there is a lot of differences here between the mini and the full size. One, we have a nice deep hollow ground blade. Very deep, nice and thin behind the edge. You can see the geometry here. Nice cutting geometry, nice sharpening geometry. They pulled the plunge grind all the way back to here. You have a lot of sharpening there. We'll talk about the plunge grinds here in a second. But we have a nice beautiful swedge on the top, you know, making this more of a spear point. I love it. Love it. I love it when that swedge is there. Another thing is this one. These are G10 with this honeycomb pattern that's very tacky. It offers a great grippiness to it. Really nice grippiness. Then it also has 154 cm steel instead of N690. Love that. Then we have an inset clip. This one has flat screws, but it's not inset. Now, that's the one huge failing point on this one because it's not reversible. But it does have an inset clip with flat screws. But I almost feel that they should have made it reversible because this one is super easy to use left-handed. And it has a really nice sound to it. Listen to the sound. Now, it's a little squeaky unlocking it. That'll break in. It's not the most false shutty, but the detent is super solid. I have not oiled them yet, so once I oil them, it'll get a little bit more drop shutty. You can hear that squeak when I unlock it. That'll eventually break in. It's just the metal on metal contact breaking in. It's two fresh surfaces breaking in. That's it. Man, this thing has a cool sound. But yeah, the reverse flick and thumb flick is great on this one. So really quick, I just want to talk about what a smile is. So I've done videos on this and I've spoke about it a lot in my sharpening videos, and I always talk about plunge grinds and choils. So the plunge grind you want away from the edge. So this is the plunge grind. It begins right here, it ends here. So you have all of this to sharpen away. Now, with some knives, the plunge grind, this is very close to the edge. Now, when that happens, when you're sharpening, you will hit it. And what happens is when you hit the plunge grind to your stone when sharpening, it creates a smile. This is basically what a smile is. If you look at right here, it looks wonky because that hit the plunge grind, or the stone hit the plunge grind. See how it looks all wonky back there? Now, this is one example. This is the Tuya Big Belly. Love the knife. Now, another example, really quick, is right here where you see the stone hit the plunge grind. See how the coating was cut off right there? That is a smile. So it kind of looks like the corners of your cheek when you're smiling. Now, there's lots of different examples of that, and sometimes it's way worse, sometimes it's not as bad, but it's always an issue, and it can make your edge not look as good. It can also make it to where your angle it gets lifted up when you're sharpening because it's thicker right there in that plunge area. So if you hit it, it can just mess your angle up a little bit. It can chip the corners of your stone. It can make it more difficult to sharpen, and it definitely does not look really good, especially when you're trying to put a really nice edge on your knife. And if it's brand new, you don't want it makes it look old. It makes your knife look old and used rather than nice and fresh and new. The ergos, super comfortable in the hand. Love the ergos on this. Now, you can choke back and use this little spot right here for your pinky to still get a 4-finger grip. But this choil, holding it like this, oh, so comfortable. Now, if you look at the way the ergos are, you have this flat spot right here. And then it has almost like a gun grip back here. Like, a gun grip. But it also benefits you with the utility cuts because the way they spear point this out, this is going to be such a useful blade shape. It's one of my most favorite blade shapes because it's so versatile. You can use it for utility cuts, and you have this spot pushing back into your palm. So as you're putting pressure down onto something, as it's pushing back into your hand, it's pushing back very comfortably into the hand. So it's going to be really nice for utility cuts, ergos wise and cutting wise. The blade shape is really good for slicing and push cuts. And with this deep of a hollow grind and that beautiful geometry, oh, that is so nice. This is a great one. I'm loving this one. I forgot to say, we also have the pivot collar, the backspacer, geared backspacer. Now you can see how we have a two-tone finish on the black one. They did a great job with this. Absolutely loving it. Now, it does not have T8 hardware, but I forgot to mention too, all of these models, because we have some more coming up, all of these models come with new hardware in the box. So you have extra hardware in the box just in case if anything happens. So the next one is a new little front flipper which is the Kizer Squidward. Now, listen, I don't know how it works out with the name and how they're able to use it, or if it's a conflict of interest. I don't know, but it's the Kizer Squidward, and we have 2 different versions here. Now, the front flipping action on these are so good. They did exactly the way you're supposed to do a front flipper. One, it's nice and tall, right? It's a nice rounded front flipper too, so it's super comfortable. And they did the exact kind of jimping you're supposed to do on a front flipper. So it's super easy to reach over and grab the front flipper and flip it out. Fall shut action. Now, even with the way you're supposed to do a front flipper, works great. So easy to use, super snappy, fantastic little front flipper. Now, we have not a unique, but somewhat unique blade shape. So we have an elongated clip point. So if you look at this clip point, it stretches out. So you have a lot of flat area here, which is going to benefit you for push cuts. Then you have a decent amount of belly here for your slicing. Then the clip point is more of a straight clip point. It does not curve up. So it's going to be a little bit better for utility cuts. Now, with the belly, how large the belly is, you are going to have to lift up a bit to get to the tip, but it's not going to be horrible. But the steel is 154 cm again. Really like that blade steel. Beautiful satin finish on this one. And then we have the purple G10 and black G10, obviously, with pivot collars. Now, we also have a deep carry clip that is not inset, but it does have flat screws. And then these have this lanyard pin back here. And I actually kind of like these little lanyard pins when they're done like this. It looks unique. It looks cool. And if you do put a lanyard on it, it makes it to where it pulls straight out of your pocket. And in the pocket, it might kind of just look like a pen or something. I don't know. I got a couple other knives with lanyard pins like this, and I always thought they looked pretty cool. The action is so good on these. Lots of weight relieving. Nice strong lockup. And this one has, I forgot to mention, internal stop pins. Let's see if we can get this on the camera. Which also is going to help with side-to-side play. It might not come up. You see it right there? There it is. You can see the stop pin moving. So, lots of weight relieving inside the pivot. And you can see how we have the notches in there to help make it a little bit smoother. And it makes it to where you can easily oil these and maintain them, clean them out. So that is so awesome. They did a good job with this one. I love the access to the lock bar. Love how ridiculously smooth it is for how light it is. Jimping and front flipping action is super, super good. So let's get to the next one. So the next one, I actually recently had the other version of it, but we have the new Kizer GEMINI with this really nice micarta. It feels just like, it is fabric, but you can really feel the fabric. Beautiful finish. It's just nice and grippy while also being super soft. Now, this one has a non-deep carry clip. However, the new burlap micarta version, you can see how dark it's getting. If you recently seen me show this on the channel, you can see how light it is under here. That's how it was on the whole thing. Now it's absorbing the oils and it's really getting darker. This one has a more smoother finish. You can still feel the fabric and it's nice and soft, but it's definitely smoother. This one has more of a grippiness to it. I really like it. But the non-deep carry clip is going to make it more comfortable in the hand and easier to pull in and out of the pocket. So everybody has their preferences. Some people like a deep carry clip. Some people like a non-deep carry clip. But in this case, the Kizer GEMINI comes in so many different options and so many different versions. I recently showed the mini on my channel, the aluminum mini. There's titanium frame lock versions. There's basically every type of version of this knife except for an XL version. So there's a mini, this version, and then all different versions of each. But very smooth on the drop. Great detents. Kizer just does such a good job with their detents. Ooh. Once you break that detent, this thing pops open. Good access to the lock bar. Very smooth on the drop. Ray Laconico design. I don't know if I said that or not yet. But it's just a super useful, lightweight EDC. It's going to be a fantastic blade shape for just about all your needs. And it's compact and nice and slim in the pocket while also still being comfortable in the hand. So you're going to be able to do some decent cutting. And if you want to be a little tougher on it, they do have a frame lock version. Fantastic action or fantastic access to the lock bar. It does not have a reversible clip, but regardless, this one I really like the hardware. And like I said, all these come with extra hardware. All of them come with extra hardware. That's really cool. But blue hardware on this one, I really like that. It makes it pop. Now, I do wish they would have did the 154 cm on this one. It's N690 steel. Not that big of a deal. But, yeah, there you guys go. Just a quick look at all these new Kizers. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace!